What's going on, traders? Pat here. Today is August 8th, 2024. I want to share my trade with you today, but before I go into that, I want to talk a little bit about yesterday. I had kind of a rough day yesterday. I traded about 6 trades and ended up over trading. I didn't draw down much at all. In fact, I actually ended the day green, but I wasn't really happy with my performance. I started I started trading outside the model a little bit, and my first trade was a little bit of a FOMO trade. Wasn't really sure what was happening in the market, and I wasn't being patient. I wasn't really waiting. So those are some things that I kind of have to work on for myself. But ended up taking a loser in the morning, and then took about maybe 5 other trades with some partials, and then a nice trade to end the day, and ended up basically break even on my evaluation account. Today, on the other hand, though, was much different. So anytime you have days like that, where you either end the day with a loss or you end the day over trading and just kind of unhappy with your performance, it's best just to kind of go back to what it is that your model is, and and really break your model down, strip it down to its basic elements, and make sure that you observe all those elements and price actions before you take the trade. And so that's what I did today. The market basically gave me my setup on a silver platter. It was easy. The draw was pretty obvious. The setup was obvious. I anticipated it beforehand and took a really nice win on my evaluation account today. So today we had news at 5:30 a.m. my time, and it knocked this nice big bullish candle up, and it tipped above the PM high from the other day, and then we kind of consolidated above that PM high. Now, I was kind of bullish on the day based on the hourly chart. You can see that we sort of, yesterday we had kind of a rundown past some of this liquidity down here, and then we entered into this fair value gap on the hourly down here, and we rejected it. The body respected it nicely. So I thought maybe we could make a run up to the nearest draw, which would have been maybe this new week opening gap, PM high first, then the new week opening gap. We had really only worked it one time, so I was looking for this to be hit today. Show up, got my 5:30 news candle, market chops a little bit into the open, and then it chops some more. At this point, I'm seeing some of these relative equal lows down here and thinking, okay, if I expect the market to be bullish, I'm going to see some level of manipulation down below these. So I started looking for that manipulation. The first thing I saw was we just ticked below some of these lows right here, leaving this fair value gap open. So I started stalking an entry on this fair value gap, looking for this one to inverse. But I knew the best one would actually tap into this big open fair value gap right here. And so I was just patient. I let the market do its thing. I watched us run down here and run down one more time where we tapped into the fair value gap. So we tapped a fair value gap, we left a fair value gap open, so I marked this. I'm going about my morning, getting my kids together, getting them ready for school and everything. And so I put an alert right at this level, right at that level right there. And my alert triggered. I come back into the market. I wait for my candle to close above, and so it does. But before that, I'm also kind of looking at the risk on this. So if I take a trade on this, I'm looking at close to a 20-point loss, even a 30-point loss on here. So I have a max loss set on my evaluation account. If you don't have a max loss, you should really have something like that, because that's the kind of thing that keeps your equity curve intact. You don't want to tank half of your equity curve out on one single trade. So this is a small portion of my equity curve. So I try and go about $300 or so max loss per day. And I was willing to risk 5 contracts on here. 5 times 20 is about $200 plus a little bit, give or take a few here. So 5 contracts on the NASDAQ micro, I enter on, and I get in somewhere around there, and immediately I take about 17 points off because it just ran pretty quickly. 17 points, 3 contracts at 17 points. Then I had 2 left, so I put 1 contract right there, right around 40 points. And then the last contract I ran up to here. That says 111, but actually it's really calculated only 102, so my entry is a little bit off on this. But that was my trade, so you can see this it's quite a good trade for 5 contracts. And at that point, that's it for the day. You're done. I mean, I'm done at that point. I don't want to sit and I don't want to look at the market anymore. I want to go about my day and I don't want to worry. So at some point too, you got to be satisfied with what you have. And so coming back from a day like yesterday and then getting this nice banger of a trade today, very satisfied with that. And so I just ended my day right there, kept my earnings, and going to look for tomorrow to see what's next. So if you like that, feel free to give a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and thanks for letting me share my journey with you, and I will see you on the next one.